Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Geek Coast channel. I'm your host, the Wizard Demigod David, and I hope you're all doing fantastic wherever you are in this universe. So, I do apologize that it's been so long that I haven't done this. Kind of been laying low, enjoying my time, relaxing. Been working quite a bit too, but I'm back. And I'm going to try to keep on doing a couple episodes here and there, and hopefully you all are enjoying it. I hope you're all having a good time. I know I'm having a fantastic time doing these episodes, and that's about it so far. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get this show going. So this will be another TV show review episode. And I'm not going to do the standard where it's a spoiler-free, then spoiler part episode. So this is pretty much all going to be a spoiler episode. And we're going to do it on the show, which is actually had their series finale. Hopefully there will be a spin-off or someone will pick them up and the show will get revived yet again. But it's going to be on The Expanse. And yeah, it's a awesome TV show. You guys need to watch it. If you haven't seen it, pause this, come back to this show later. Watch The Expanse, binge it. There's 6 seasons of it. Binge it all. It's great. Then come back and see if you enjoy it that I have enjoyed it. So, anywho, this is your final warning on everything that's going to be spoilers on The Expanse. And here we go. So, The Expanse is probably by far one of my favorite all-time sci-fi series. Period. The show is so good. The story, the acting, the heck, even the physics and the actual, this is what is known as a hard sci-fi. So like a lot of the stuff that they do in the show, like with space travel, space combat, and everything else, is pretty much close to being scientifically accurate. And it is such an amazing thing to see a sci-fi show that does like actual, scientific theories, physics, all that stuff, laws, all that stuff. And it's so cool to see that. Like, past sci-fi shows like Star Wars, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, all of those shows, heck, even Stargate Atlantis or regular Stargate, they have not really considered to be that much of a hard sci-fi until The Expanse showed up. And pretty much all of those fan bases of those shows I just, said, almost everyone loves The Expanse. The Expanse is so, so good. And also, I will highly recommend read the book series. The book series itself is actually far more ahead of The Expanse. Actually, the book series 2 just finished up also. So you can read all 9 books, which that's how many books are in the series. But anywho, back to the show itself. The show is so amazing. Season 1, 2, 3, Season 4 was alright. Season 5 was good. Season 6, a bit rushed, but, because it was their final season, and I think Amazon was trying to rush them. But still, Season 6 was good. I like Season 6 a lot. And the characters themselves in this show is so good. One of my favorite characters, Miller. I love Miller so much, both in the show and the book. He's such an amazing, cool character, really awesome. Holden, who is the main character of the Expanse series, don't really care for him, but he's also not a bad character, but really don't care for him. Naomi's awesome. Amos I love. Alex is cool. Probably one of the most awesome soldiers you will ever see in the series, Bobby Draper. If Bobby Draper hits you with her right hook, you will go down. You will not get back up. But anywho, yeah, it's so, so good. The show's so good. And the ships, too, are absolutely amazing. How they're designed, how they work, and also how, this would be how ships are made or built for space to travel and stuff like that. So it's really, really cool. So anywho, let's give you a general idea of what The Expanse is. So we're somewhere in the future. Both the show and the books never say what year we're in the future, but it is definitely in some part of the future. Probably I would say maybe the next, 100 years or so, something like that. So anywho, humanity has pretty much colonized the solar system. That's pretty much the farthest we have got. We have 3 major powers that are in constant Cold War-ish era. So we have, of course, the UN, which is Earth, as one of the major powers. Then we have Mars, which are human colonists who basically declare independence from Earth, created their own government, their own nation in a sense, and they're kind of like all like the smartest military people from Earth that just want to make their own government. So that's kind of cool. And then finally we have the Belters, who are kind of considered like second class citizens, and kind of like represent like the Native Americans back in the Western days of how they don't recognize themselves as Earthers or people from Mars. Like they're their own group of people, and they even have like their own language and their own society and stuff. And what's as I said, like the Native Americans, they also have like many tribes, so they're not really like a central government for the people of the belt and stuff. Even though there is kind of like one major group that represents all of the belt, but they themselves are really just one tribe out of the hundreds of Belter tribes. So it's kind of cool. The authors and also who are also the head writers slash executive producers of the show know like references from like history and stuff like that, and use those references to create a very cool, very interesting story of the Expanse, especially politically, racism, and other stuff that has happened within our history that shows in the Expanse as like references and stuff like that. So that stuff was really cool. And like I said, the visual effects were really awesome, especially how they did the space combat, and also like the zero G stuff that they do was really cool. And also like the mathematics and the physics play really hard into this show, especially like in season 1 where you have the heroes trying to escape from the Donninger, which was a basically a Martian battleship, and it's fighting against smaller enemies, and they happen to be overwhelmed and they get boarded, and the hero crew is trying to escape into this ship. And during like a run, and basically almost like a zero G kind of run, one of the crewmates managed to start floating away, and the other crewmate managed to grab her, hook her with a rope, kick her, and by kicking her, even though she's floating away, he's causing himself to float back down, and they're still connected. And then once he lands, and they have like these boots that are magnetized, so they can like basically stick on metal surface without floating away. Turn those on, step down, and bring her straight back down. Also while under gunfire. So that was kind of cool and stuff like that. Also, venting atmosphere is, for the first time ever, finally shows what really happens when atmosphere starts, leaving the ship, or there's a hole. There's no, oh my god, a huge rush of wind, like hurricane winds, just pushing you out of the ship into the vacuum of space where you die. No, it's just basically all gone, and you're just floating, and you're suffocating. And then, of course, when the ship moves, the gravity just basically takes you off the ship, and yeah, you die suffocating horribly in space. So that itself was also really cool. Space combat itself, like I said, it's really cool. It's not like, like I said, past shows like Stargate, Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars, Star Trek, where the ships are like literally line of sight at each other, and then they're just, hitting them with, whatever weapons and stuff like that. The Expanse, you don't even see line of sight at enemies until like eventually later on in the battle. But yeah, no, it's really cool. So it's basically like kilometers upon kilometers upon kilometers, like thousands upon thousands of miles of battlefield, where the first fire or the first shots are being fired by basically missiles slash torpedoes. So those are going off, and then eventually when they get close, then they'll use railguns, which again, another weapon system that is actually really close to be happening here on in our time. So that's itself is really cool, and then everything else is eventually becomes close quarter battle, and it's kind of cool. Like the show itself is really cool. Character wise, like I said, Miller's one of my favorite characters. Holden's all right. Some of the villains in the show are also really cool, especially in the Free Navy arc with Marcos Nargos, and he's like a charismatic, powerful belter that managed to cripple both Earth and Mars to a point where the Free Navy and the Belters pretty much have a ring, pretty much have control of the Sol system for a short amount of time, stuff like that. And also, as any sci-fi show we of course have to have some kind of alien stuff. So in this case, we have something called the Proto Molecule, which is some kind of alien substance that basically changes your body from a molecular stage and then just pretty much warps everything, especially not even like human, like organic, but also like ships and other moons and stuff like that. So it's just changing all through this stuff. And in season 2, I think it's the end of season 2 or season 3, where Eros, one of the larger asteroids, or I think it's also a moon too, one of the moons, I think, something like that, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it gets basically, Proto Molecule gets released, and millions of humans were infected, and then the planet started moving towards Earth, and then later on, with the help of certain characters, managed to crash into Venus. And then later on, we found out that the Proto Molecule itself is actually creating what is known as a giant ring. And later on in the show, the ring activates, and one of the coolest things that ever happened, and I'm glad they do this, is shows what would happen if you travel so fast, and all of a sudden, when you do a sudden stop, the most horrific thing will happen to your body. And it's not like, Star Wars and Star Trek, where ships just all of a sudden stop, everyone's fine, which I know both those shows or movies or universes have like some kind of technology to make sure that doesn't happen. But in The Expanse, when it happens, half your body will literally fly out of your seat and into your screen. It is disgusting. But it's really awesome that, it shows what happens. That's how hard science this show is. Or, yeah, hard sci-fi. So it's really cool. It's really awesome. And like I said, the rings open up. Found out the aliens that created the Proto Molecule are all dead. And there are also other rings that are activated. And basically humanity can now travel to other solar systems and colonize them and stuff like that. So it leads on to later on, internal fighting between like Earth, Mars, the Belt, and then later on we get, of course, the Free Navy arc, which is right around season 5, and then, of course, ends in season 6. So, which was really cool. Basically, you just finally see the Belters who had enough of generations and lifetime being basically suppressed and treated like, second-class citizens between Earth and Mars, that they finally now have a fighting chance. So you see all this happening, and then also probably one of my favorite characters too in this show, Camille Drumma, which she is really cool, and she has probably one of the best story arcs in the show, from being someone that believes in the Belt to she wants to do her own thing, and then she does join the Free Navy, but doesn't like how Marcus is doing it because he's a very cold, calculated guy, and also he doesn't really have a true vision of what he wants to do and stuff like that. And then also in the show, which does happen in the books, there is also the small preview of the next story arc, which at the moment you only have to read the books to know what's going to happen next. But it's a really good story arc too, that one is. So anywho, we get to see that they control the rings, all that stuff. Marcus Arachnos had stealth tech to use asteroids to bomb Earth, which later on, with the help of the heroes, which are the crew of the Rocinante, which I will say this, the Rocinante is probably one of my favorite hero ships of all time. That ship is so cool. And not just by design and how practically it works, but also the family dynamic it has in it, where the crew basically treats like this is their home. This is their home. There's nowhere else they want to be than on the Rocinante. And one of my favorite moments in the show, which happens a few times, or maybe more than a few times if I think about it, is when they're all together in the mess hall and they're eating like a family. And it just, has that family dynamic, and also kind of gives the ship its own character, like especially in like how the Alex the pilot, how he talks to the Rocinante as like it's a character from the show. So it's so awesome to have a ship like that to basically become its own character. It's like, it is one of the main characters. But anywho, with the help of the Rocinante, they managed to free Earth and Mars navies from getting hit by asteroids. And later on, they had a big battle in which the crew of the Rocinante had a plan to help secure the Ring Gate, because the Ring Gate, inside of it, is protected by large railguns, and as soon as you go in, you're going to get hit by these railguns. So their plan was the Rocinante would lead a charge with a freighter. The freighter launches millions of pods to go into the Ring Gate, and within these pods are assault teams made up of Martians, Belters, and Earthers. And leading them, of course, is the ever tremendous, awesome Martian Marine Bobby Draper in her power armor suit, which their power armor suit is legit awesome. I love it. I would love to see some kind of like dream matchup of Spartan versus, Bobby Draper in her Martian suit, because it's kind of cool. It's pretty awesome. I would think the Spartan would win, but it would be kind of cool matchup to see. So anywho, they launched that. The Rocinante had to do basically like a quick burn to try to avoid the railguns as much as possible before getting behind a Medina station, which is a giant ship that turned into a space station, pretty much. And also the assault team, which, when you guys do watch this, pause it where they're showing the names of the assault team. Every member of the assault team are named after sci-fi or movie characters from, of course, the producers, the writers, their favorite show. So you have like Admiral Akbar, Ripley, Sarah Connor. Like, it was kind of cool. I didn't even realize it either until like I saw it online. I was like, "What? That's awesome. That is really cool." Like, it's pretty awesome. Like, I love when they do like when writers do that. It makes it shows how much love and care they have for this show, that, and also like the genres that they love also then put it in it. So that was really cool. But anywho, yeah, you see this awesome zero-G assault where they're basically ejected out of their pods and they're literally, slowly going down, dodging the railguns, by the way, which, so you got like these slugs that are just literally flying past their heads, especially the one scene where you see Amos and you just see him like barely almost getting hit 3 times by a railgun, and just him going like so it was really cool, really awesome. The assault itself was awesome, and the show is really good. And then also you do get a sneak peek of what really kills the Proto Molecule aliens, which will happen in the next story arc, which you gotta read those in the books. But yeah, so that's pretty much my rundown of The Expanse. Like I said, The Expanse is like one of my favorite sci-fi shows at the moment of all time, and I really hope that it does get picked up by another streaming service or maybe another network, or that maybe someone will give them a spin-off where they can do finish off literally the last story arc, which they still have, literally can do at least 3 more seasons at least. Like, that's how much material they have left to do to finish the show off properly. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you all enjoyed this. Me rambling about a show that I actually particularly love. Like I said, The Expanse is definitely up there with me with like Star Wars, Star Trek, and other sci-fi series greats. Like, The Expanse is really good. It's a well thought out show. It's a well written show. The actors themselves do portray these characters so well. It's really great. It's really awesome. And one of the actors and also one of the authors actually have their own podcast too. So look them up. Ty That Guy. They're pretty funny. They're pretty cool. Not only do they talk about The Expanse, but they also talk about other stuff too that they love and enjoy. So like I said, guys, check out The Expanse. It's really awesome. It's really good. And yeah, probably after this recording, I'm gonna do a special one. So the next episode's gonna be a bit different. Kind of want to change it up for a bit, but yeah, you'll find out when I bring that episode out. But anywho, guys, leave a like, a subscribe, share this to your friends, families, even your alien overlords in space. Share that to them, and I hope you all enjoy it, and I hope you all have a fantastic day or night wherever you are. And always remember, stay geeky, my friends.